Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well.
Sneak in here.
Better. Thank you. How are you?
Good. How are you? It's a good win.
How about the battle today? Just like we saw yesterday between two of the better closers in the country and Colby getting back on track.
Summers was outstanding today. Yeah, their closer Klein, real deal. I mean, that's a good baseball team, as you can tell. Coach Maloney has done a tremendous job with that program, and he's got a lot of really good quality arms. When the guy that comes out of the bullpen second on the fourth day is throwing 96 miles an hour, and that's guy who only had 4 appearances for Coach Maloney's club. That's a credit how deep his pitching staff really is and how good they really are. And for us to get to the Klein kid at the end was hard to do, and credit to the hitters and their work with Coach Marr.
Big theme this week was moving on to the next at bat, that mentality to move on. In the 3 wins this weekend, Oregon dominated in the late innings. Did you see that mentality shift from the team this weekend?
Well, I don't know about the domination at the end of the game. I know Colby Summers sure dominated today. He was very, very good. I saw it a little differently. I saw that we had some things get away from us, and we had to respond. There was a ball that fell in the outfield that traditionally gets caught all the time. As a matter of fact, all the base runners for the other team advanced only 1 base, assuming that the ball was going to be caught in the outfield, and we didn't catch it. And so that's something that was uncharacteristic of some good outfielders out there. And so that required us to be able to have a better mindset, and maybe a tougher mindset, to be able to respond after negative stuff like that happens. And then they did, and they continued to score runs and put good at-bats together. I didn't see a fall-off or a drop-off on any at-bats or an emotional type of a response. I saw a really good, mentally strong response by our team, pitching, defense, and hitting.
Coach, what does it say about your team, like you just were kind of mentioning, to come in and on this day where it's rainy and cold, and this game where you give up 2 home runs in the 8th inning, but to respond, to ultimately win the game, to have that same energy from the first inning into the 9th inning? What does it say about your team?
Well, that's what we tried to do. We tried to share that importance, and these guys, they really they understand that, especially with what's going on out there in our area and the country. People don't have a lot of money to go out and spend to go out and see baseball games and stuff like that, and so we want to make sure we're giving them a product that they can feel like they're getting their value out of their dollar when they come to the park. And I think when they watched our ball club play today, that every penny spent today probably felt like there was great value for them and their families or kids to come and watch this team play, and that's what we're trying to do.
How nice was it to see Tyler Gannis come through in that final at bat?
He's a legend, to be honest with you, a living legend. He's a kid that, we told in his exit meeting that, he was, quite candidly, he was weak. He needed to get stronger. He had all these deficiencies. We broke that stuff all down. And, but what he has inside of his heart, and he's a really good baseball player, but what he has inside of his heart is a tremendous work ethic, comes from his family. The kid is just unbelievable. He's such a person you can root for. You kind of tear up when you talk about Tyler Gannis, because the guy, nobody works as hard as him that I've ever coached in my life.
It seemed like Rio was sitting a couple miles an hour less than he usually has. Can you just talk, but he was still able to complete, I think, 2 2/3 today. Can you just talk about how he was able to fight through this one?
Don't know how he was. He had the flu for the last 4 days, and so he wasn't even at the field the first 2 days of the series. So he showed some toughness to be able to do that. Really proud of Rio to be able to show up and give us everything that he had after basically not being able to get out of his apartment for the last couple of days.
What do you think of Caleb Sloan? Pretty good for 3 innings today.
Really good. Scott Ellis, really good. They're giving us a start, and no, they're not guys that are traditionally going to go out there and start and give you 7 innings, but if they just do what they're supposed to do, and they did today, it was fun to see. I was really happy with their efforts.
Landing